Tonight's topic is the Black Church. This is our story, this is our song. Henry Louis Gates Jr., New York Times best-selling author of Stony the Road. He also turned this book into a documentary called The Black Church, This is Our Story, This is Our Song. And you can probably watch this if you Google it. This is a great documentary to watch at the end of Black History Month. And tonight I'm going to go over some notes that I learned from it. The Black Church instilled the power of faith, the importance of community. According to Al Sharpton, the Black Church was the epicenter of Black life. Out of it came Black business, education centers, and a sense of value, belonging, worthiness, says Oprah. It was an individual institutional armor to preserve the sanity. And what will be the future of the Black Church? The first institution that also enslaved Black people. British common law Christians could not hold other Christians in slavery. Therefore, South Carolina Negro Act 1740 prohibited slaves from writing, limited ability to assemble, outlawed the keeping and play of instruments at places of assembly, which led to an invisible institution, which was a makeshift church where enslaved Blacks created a spiritual world that would sustain them. It was called an invisible institution. In the 1700s, the First Great Awakening and massive revival, worship that involved whites and enslaved free Blacks started to take place. Evangelists, who was one of the first evangelists, George Whitefield. Praise houses were the next form of church, a place into transition to building the church of their own. The first African Baptist church in Savannah, Georgia, was in 1773, and George Law began it. In the early 1800s, the Second Great Awakening took place, where the Methodist Church declared itself against slavery. Blacks were drawn to it. In the North, Richard Allen, who was from Philadelphia, who was born a slave and purchased his freedom, became the leader of that movement. In 1816, Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church was headed by Richard Allen. It was a vehicle for his civil rights movement. Jarena Lee challenged Allen to preach, and she was denied. During her outbursts of spoken word, Richard Allen allowed her to preach and honor her calling. So this woman made an outburst during 1816 at this church that was headed by Richard Allen, which started next the movement to have women and to liberate the Black church, to allow women to speak and hold positions in the church. So later on, the AME Church at Baltimore, Maryland had the first woman bishop, Mackenzie, in January 1st, 1808, the end of the transatlantic slave trade. The 1844, the Methodist Church, the South and the North joined forces. In 1791, the French versus the Haitians. In January 1st, 1804, that led to the French versus the Haitians actually inspired the first independent Black republic known as Haiti. So that was when that January 1st, 1804, that happened. And then August 10th, 1823, Denmark Vesey, accused of planning an uprising and planning to murder white slave masters. He was executed along with others on August 10th, 1823. Nat Turner, taught at the Methodist Church and understood himself. He linked to the children of Israel and understood freedom meant bloodshed. August 21st, 1831, he leads a rebellion, murdering 60 white men and women. 1843, the National Negro Convention took place. The best ways to end slavery, Garnett versus Douglas. Garnett calls to rebellion, Douglas for Constitution. Henry Garnett. 1850, Fugitive Slave Act. Escaped slaves must be returned to their masters. April the 12th, 1861, Confederate guns open fire at Fort Sumter. New Year's Eve, 1862, the Emancipation Proclamation put into effect. New Year's Day, 1863, by Abraham Lincoln. 200,000 blacks allowed to join the army to fight for freedom. Black church did more to end slavery than all the guns in war ever did. Garrison Frazier brought his freedom. Special Field Order number 15 declared land would be parceled off and distributed into 40 acres, issued by General Sherman. April 1865, Lincoln assassination reversed the field order that allowed the 40 acres and a mule to take place. And then there was Henry McNeil Turner. These are just some notes I got from that great documentary. And if you can watch this documentary before the end of Black History Month. I watched it and it was a great documentary. I'm just reading back some notes to you that I took. And I suggest you take some notes on this documentary as well. It's a great documentary. And I'm so glad that I get to share this video. It's so timely because I had planned to share this video, but I was waiting for the right time. So this is that video on close to the last day of Black History Month. I hope you enjoy watching this video. And if you like it, you can follow me at Oracle Candles on Instagram and on TikTok. Thanks for watching.